Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Lead with PHPD podcast. I'm Lieutenant Pat Eash, and with me, as always, is CSO Sam Baker. Sam, how's it going?
Going good. How are you?
I'm doing pretty well, thanks. Thank you all for joining us here. It's been a little bit. Wherever you're watching and listening, whether it's Spotify, YouTube, or Facebook, we appreciate you being here with us. A reminder that if you do want to catch any of the previous episodes of the Lead with PHPD, they're all available on those sites. If you have any questions, you can always reach us at the email address of the Lead with PHPD at gmail.com. You can ask us questions, tell us any topics you may want to hear about. Until then, what do you got for us today, Sam?
Going to be a good episode. We're going to cover, we got a patrol highlight to go over. We have some happenings around here. We got a new officer in field training. We got a few that just started at Oakland Police Academy. We're going to touch on that. We have a brand new segment. Is it legal? So we've been getting questions about some things. If you can do this, I've saw that. So we're going to cover a new segment called "Is It Legal?" Touch on Boat Week, what to expect, what we're going to be doing, what people can see, and yeah, just can't forget the best part.
Yes,
I jumped in the patrol car this morning with Officer Anthony Garska. So got a great officer profile, and we got out of the office. So a lot of good things in this episode. So if you're ready, we'll jump right into it.
Absolutely. I'm looking forward to that. Let's get going.
Okay.
So we're all very excited to welcome a new officer to the Port Huron Police Department. That's Officer Austin Townsend. Austin's currently in his field training process. He graduated from the Oakland Police Academy a few months ago. And the field training process we've talked about before here a little bit, but it's quite extensive. There's a lot of training, as you can imagine, that goes into doing our job. So Austin actually just got approved today to move on to the next step in his FTO program. So that's pretty exciting. He's doing very well.
That's wild because I feel like he just got sworn in.
I know. It goes by fast.
So fast.
It goes by very fast. Austin, interestingly enough, is originally from Alberta, Canada. He moved here a few years ago and lives in the city of Port Huron. He's been here for a few years and is a U.S. citizen. But he's doing great, and we're happy to have him here. And after Austin, we're excited. We actually have 4 recruits currently in the police academy. They're attending classes right now, and they will graduate around October, and then they'll start their field training process. Right after them, starting in August, we'll have a 5th recruit going to the police academy. So a lot of new faces, a lot of new officers out there. We're excited to have them. We're proud of their progress. And if you see them out there, you'll recognize Austin. He's 6 foot 8 inches tall.
I wasn't going to say it because I feel like he gets that everywhere he goes.
He does.
He is. I think he's got to be the tallest.
I think he's got to be tallest. We have some tall people here, but I think he's beat them.
He's absolutely. And the fact that he gets in the patrol car, even it's just I wasn't gonna touch on it, but if you see him, you'll know exactly who we're talking about. And you mentioned the cadets. There's 5 total, 4 right now, 1 more coming. 3 of them former cadets.
Yes,
or current
out
cadets?
of the 5.
Yeah,
out of the 5, 3 of them are current or former cadets. So it's really cool to see their progress through the department. One of which even started in our youth academy program and made their way all the way up to officer. Really excited that those programs are being utilized and enjoyed and leading to some great people joining our department.
Yeah, and just a quick little side note, if you're interested in becoming a cadet, join phpd.com. All the information there. Check it out.
That's right.
Let's see what else we got going on around here. The cryptocurrency ordinance. Probably about 2 weeks ago or so, chief and the assistant chief and myself filmed a little segment. Cryptocurrency kiosks, scams, those things are, we're not immune to that here. And we talked about some of the scams we're seeing, but these cryptocurrency kiosks are starting to pop up in the city. And what we're trying to do is kind of get ahead of people being taken advantage of with those scams. So for more information on that, I'm not going to get into it right here, but do check out the previous episode, special edition episode, where we touched on the cryptocurrency kiosks and the ordinance.
Very good. And then obviously we had 4th of July just recently.
Mm-hmm.
Hope you enjoyed the weekend. It was nice that it fell on a Saturday. Hope everybody out there enjoyed 4th of July. One of the big topics of 4th of July is fireworks. And, we have an ordinance in the city and laws in the state of Michigan about fireworks. We're happy to report that there were no incidents. Can you touch on that a little bit?
Yeah. And I'm glad our 4th of July graphic that we co-designed went out there. So I'm glad people found that humorous. So that got some traction. But we had 10 dispatched fireworks calls or complaints where people felt that they saw like a safety issue or possible damage to property from a firework going off. So happy to report officers went out, investigated, checked all that out. No damage, no fires, no injuries, and what safety issues were reported actually turned out to be okay within,
Good.
you know, the investigating officers took a peek at everything. So found everything was good. No citations were issued, no fines, nothing like that. So
That's great.
A couple conversations of maybe that's a little bit too close.
Sure.
But with the good news, there's a teeny bit of unfortunate news there.
Yeah, unfortunately, you know, we preach all the time about drinking and driving and how dangerous it is. And over the 4th of July weekend, unfortunately, we had 3 operating while intoxicated arrests. So while those enjoying the fireworks were being responsible, those enjoying the adult beverages, maybe some of them weren't. So it's sad to see. We don't want to see that in our city, but we're glad that the officers are out there doing their patrols to keep our city safe.
Yep.
And overall, I'd say, other than that, a pretty successful and great 4th of July, Independence Day, our 250th birthday of this great nation. So thank you to all of you out there for enjoying it, having fun, and keeping it safe.
Big thank you to the city for really kind of stepping up. And we had we had all the faith that they would, let's be clear. But it's awesome to come in and go, wow, 10 dispatch calls, no injuries, no fires, nothing major. So job well done, City of Port Huron.
Well done.
All right, so moving right along. When that light's on, you know what it means. It's patrol highlight time. Which one you got for us?
Well, as always, we like to highlight the great work that the men and women of the Port Huron Police Department do. They're working tirelessly every day, every night. And so we'd like to highlight, you know, some of the more significant calls or incidents that they respond to and investigate. One of which happened around mid-June. Officers were dispatched to we call it an FA or felonious assault. I mean, someone has either been or is threatened to be assaulted with a dangerous weapon. This occurred around the area of 12th and Howard, and I think it's important to note that this was not a random incident. These people that were involved in this were known to each other. So isolated incident, no ongoing danger.
Gotcha.
In this incident, the victim called 911 to report that a person drove by and pointed a weapon at them out of a car. Obviously, scary situation. So the officers responded, and they developed suspect information, began checking known addresses belonging to that suspect, and actually located the car. And it so happens that the suspect was still inside the car. Well, upon seeing the officers, the suspect got out of the car, tried getting into a house. The officers were giving them commands to stop. You know, you're under arrest, so on and so forth. They refused that. Officers went up to the suspect, were able to safely detain that person. And then as the investigation moved along, they checked in the car, and in plain view, sitting there on the seat of the car was a semi-automatic handgun with an extended magazine. So needless to say, that suspect was arrested. The gun was confiscated and secured, and thankfully no one was injured. So just a shout out to Platoon 3, all the men and women there, the officers, the supervisors, for great teamwork, a great job done, and keeping a dangerous criminal and weapon off of our streets.
Yep.
So a pretty fun thing that you did today was actually went on a ride along with Officer Garska. And I know you had some pretty grand plans on a really cool entrance, you know, for the video and all that. It didn't really work out as we wanted it to, but you had some fun.
Yeah, had a good time. I was trying to get a nice dramatic, like cool shot in our wind tunnel, but as soon as I get out there, he's like, that'd be great and all, but we got to go meet, Officer Roski, our animal control officer. So we didn't get that shot. But yeah, it was a good time. We've interviewed Officer Vitale in here before, but thought maybe get out of the office a little bit and instead of taking him off of patrol, why don't I just jump in and kind of see what he does and just have a conversation? So it went really well.
Good. Yeah. So although those of you that are watching, you're in for a treat. Some really cool shots that you were able to get out on patrol. You got to see and do a lot of stuff and learn a lot about Officer Garska. You know, his background, his motivation, and his dedication to this career, and a little extracurricular. He's a big musician, so hopefully we can get some of his music in here too. So we're looking forward to that. Enjoy.
All right, so we're inside the car now, and Garska, again, thank you for doing this. If you don't mind, introduce yourself, kind of a little bit about who you are and your background. I know born and raised here, right, too?
I was, yeah. So I've been with the department for almost 7 years. I was born and raised in Port Huron. I graduated from Port Huron High School in 2013. After that, I went to a community college for about a year. I decided to enlist in the United States Marine Corps. I left for boot camp in 2015. Then I went to the fleet. I was stationed in San Diego, California, Camp Pendleton. I was meritoriously promoted to corporal in the Marine Corps. I got out. I became a police officer. And then during that time, I continued my service with the Marine Corps through the reserve unit. When I was at the reserve unit, I picked up sergeant. And after that, I ended my service with the Marine Corps to focus completely on the police department. And while I've been here at Port Huron, I enrolled in Ferris State University. I got my bachelor's degree. I was selected as the Outstanding Academic Achievement Award student.
That was just recently.
That was a couple months ago that I got that. Now I am continuing by working on my master's degree. I'm about 45% done with my master's degree in criminal justice administrations. I am probably going to graduate or on course to graduate by the end of 2027, so next year. And then we'll kind of see what happens after that, if I want to continue my education or, I always just want to keep improving and making myself better so I can help the community and kind of just be a well-rounded police officer.
You've been at the city of Port Huron now?
Since 2019, so this December will be my 7-year mark where I started here.
And when you came on, did you go right to midnights, days? How did that look?
I started out with, it was Officer Campbell. At the time, he's now a detective with a major crime unit. He started me out with my field training. So I kind of, learned a lot from him. Then I went with Officer Robertson. I did nights with him. And then I went with, at the time, Officer Hunger, which is now a sergeant here at Port Huron. And then once I completed that, then I graduated from FTO, and then I got my own patrol car and started, doing everything, that was expected of me, and just that's where I've been at.
So your first, when you were solo, you worked midnights right away, or no?
No, actually, I was lucky enough to. I've been on pretty much mornings my entire time being here. I did for a few years. I did 10 to 10, which 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. So it was kind of more of a power shift car, which I got to experience a lot of the night shift stuff. Held over a lot on calls when I was doing my 10 to 10.
Do you have a favorite? I know me personally, I did the midnights days. Power shift was always my favorite.
I enjoyed it. It's not so much for the family life. I got I got 3 small kids now, and I'm engaged, and so I like to if I can be home for family time and dinner and stuff. So the shift I'm on right now, 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. allows me to go home and spend at least a couple hours with my kids and fiance, and so I kind of have that, which is nice.
So you've been here about 7 years. Any specialties? Any things that certifications or anything that's under your belt currently?
Yeah, it's been a big year for me. I got a couple other specialties that I just got selected for, but I've been part of the recruiting team, which would go to like SC4, sometimes the police academies, and talk to cadets over there and try to get them to let them know the benefits we have at Port Huron and how much I enjoy working here. And then recently I was selected to be part of the crisis negotiator unit, which was really, really awesome, because I really enjoy being able to speak to people, especially during when they're going through a crisis and stuff. I'm very empathetic and understanding, and I was born and raised in Port Huron, so to me it's more personal, trying to make an impact with the community, and because these are people that I essentially lived with the majority of my life and
Right.
coexisted with. And, so being from Port Huron and having that, is really important to me. And then I also just got selected to be an FTO, which is to train other new recruits, new police officers that are just starting. So I got the school for that next month in August that I'll be attending.
Okay. And then looking down the road, any specialties or promotions or anything that you really have your sights on?
I'm really big into investigations. I love those calls that, you got to really think of every scenario, everything you can, put together a really good case and really, find the bad guys and help the people that, need help. And for me, to see that come together through an investigation is awesome. So I think eventually I'd like to, get into the detective role and, or major crime unit or something that really gives me the time to conduct thorough investigations. I do so on the road. Obviously, it's a lot harder though, because sometimes we're call to call, and just trying to make sure provide the best service I can by doing that. But that's why we have those specialties where people can kind of sit down and really peel back the onion, and they got the time for that and the resources and stuff. So maybe one day that would be something I'm really interested in doing.
Mm-hmm. Now you mentioned too that born and raised here, and you said like specifically with the crisis negotiator, it's more personal because you feel like these are your neighbors and your friends, and they kind of have a piece of you. Have you had that happen? Now I know I wasn't born and raised here, but I do have some friends here. I did frequent the area before I became an officer here, so I ran into people that I've worked with, or seen in town on calls. But it's probably a lot more frequent for you, where you would run into people that you grew up with or see, good or bad.
Oh yeah.
So is that any stories or anything that you can keep obviously PG that that kind of stuck out to you, that because you're born and raised here that kind of helped you?
Yeah, I mean, it happens all the time where, sometimes the other guys on the shift would joke with me about, that I know everybody. I just look at it as, I've been here I'm 31 years old, and I lived in California for 4 years, but besides that, this is where I've been. So I go on calls all the time where it's people I went to high school with, people I went to college with, just people I know through mutual friends and stuff. And, I respond to calls sometimes with them, and immediately I feel like it helps with maybe de-escalate the situation sometimes when they see a familiar face.
Yeah.
Because it's more than just, hey, it's a police officer showing up at my door. It's like, oh, I know this guy from high school.
Yeah,
like,
there's Anthony,
Yeah, there's Anthony. And a lot of the times that's what they'll be like, oh, Anthony. So instead of, an unfamiliar face. And so it can be problematic. I mean, there's times where if it's like a family member or something, that if I get a call for somebody like that, I would usually let a shift partner handle that, because I don't want to put myself or a family member in a position of where conflict of interest and stuff. So if there's something where a decision has to be made, I won't respond to that. Just I want to make sure that everybody has a very fair and unbiased decision. So if it's like, I got a lot of family that live here, and nobody's immune from being put in situations where the police need to respond. Mm-hmm. So, if it's one of those types of situations, then, I think it's the right thing to do to, have somebody else respond to that and kind of keep out of it. And,
sure.
There's always other calls to go on and stuff like that. But I always, it is one of the things when you work in your hometown. It's one of the things that I think every officer would have to encounter. So,
yeah. Now, currently, right now, for those that are watching, we're currently, you're assigned South End today?
Yes.
South End. So, the city's kind of broke up into 4 sections or beats. So what is, right now being on the South End, we're 24th and Oak right now, basically. What does your jurisdiction look like today?
So right now I am going to be the very south end of Port Huron. So basically the city's cut up into fours, and then from Griswold all the way south to Ravenswood is where my area of responsibility is, which that means if a call comes out over here anywhere in between there, and it goes from 24th Street and then from Dove all the way to 32nd Street over there, and if somebody needs help, I'm the first one to respond to that call. And then usually if it's a call that requires a couple of us, the other officer from the area north of where I'm at will come back me up. So usually it's the officer directly north of me, which will respond to calls together. And and same vice versa, that if somebody needs help over north of Griswold all the way up to the 10th Street, 7th Street, Military Street Bridge, then I will drive up there and I'll back up my partner, and the same thing goes for the north end.
Yeah, so basically you got the north end, you got the south end, so the Black River cuts the city kind of in half for that. So you try to stick to your end of the city, north end sticks to theirs. Obviously we can cross and go, the patch says City of Port Huron, so you're not limited to just the south end, but that's your primary role of responsibility.
Yeah, and it's designed to be where if, let's say you live over on, the 10th and Mini, that that if there's an emergency, there's a police officer close by to you.
Right.
If all of us were just in the south end of town and an emergency comes on the north end of town, then it's going to take 10 minutes for us to get up to the north if we're all south. So we try to distribute it so it's for that quick response time. You call, and the quicker we get there, the quicker we can get you help or resolve the issue.
Yep, and I know this morning, like I said, thank you for doing this. I texted you. I said, "Yep, let me know." Because as soon as I walked in the office, you guys were on your way out, heading to a call in progress, and I think I saw 3 or 4 of you head over there, and it turned out to be nothing. But and if I'm not mistaken, that was a possible assault with a knife possibly in play, and that panned out to be nothing.
Yeah, luckily it turned out to just be some family trouble, and the person that called misheard. And I mean, that's when we get called, or dispatched to respond somewhere, it's important to keep in your mind that, it's the information dispatch. It's very fluent, very, they're relaying it as quick as they can. Sometimes the call comes out one way and it ends up being totally different.
Right. Yeah.
So when we respond, we just have to, always remain calm, remain vigilant, and just try to de-escalate things. I mean, if we come out, going right off of what dispatch said, I mean, things can end up taking a whole different turn. So I think it's just being
it's not, and just to be clear too, it's usually not dispatch's fault. They're relaying what they're getting.
Yeah.
So dispatch, I want to be clear there that dispatch only knows what they know. So it could be third-party information. It could be, that the person, the caller heard it wrong, saw it wrong.
Yeah.
So like you said, you got to kind of take everything. We want as much information as we can get, but
and they got to be able to. And they do a really good job at trying to give us the pertinent information.
Right.
Very important. What we need to know. I mean, because sometimes they get people that are calling them screaming, and it's hard to hear them, and to be able to try to give us the best chance at responding to an accurate, situation. Kudos to them, because that's a lot of stress on their part, and they know they're sending us, and what types of danger lie ahead for us, like with a knife or a gun, or how we respond is off of the information we do get. So if we know somebody's calling and saying there's a gun, in the back of our mind, that's how when we respond, we got to respond with the possibility of a gun being in play. And so that's a big weight on them as well, to give us that information, and clear and concise.
And then you've been here. I'll just try to see the clock. 9:30. It's 9:30 in the morning as we're filming this, and you've been here 2.5 hours and barely got a cup of coffee in you, and you're sent to a possible call with a knife in play.
Yeah.
And then I know I text you and I say, hey, as soon as you're ready, and I'll jump in and let's do an interview. And ride around. So you come back, you grab me, and then as soon as I get in the car, we go to kind of an animal welfare check, and you know, that it ends up where you got to take a peek at the size of a snake to see if it's, you know, somebody called and said we got this, you know, man-eating snake, you know, and again, not necessarily what somebody saw. Did it pan out to be this dangerous, monstrous snake? No, but there was still a snake, but you had to go take a peek at it. And but it's just it's funny how this job is just it's never,
you never know what you're gonna get. I mean, some of the things that I've seen over the last 7 years, the calls I responded to, I mean, it is every single day I show up to work, it's, you know, what new thing am I gonna see today? You know, like, and I've always been taught, especially, you know, with the criminal justice stuff, is nothing's routine, nothing, like, every single situation is different. I mean, I could respond to 100, 200 civil matters, and you know, to a person that, you know, doesn't do this job, it might seem routine to them, but to me, every single person, every single situation is unique to that individual. So I'd never look at it as it's just a routine call. Things are going to go exactly A, B, C, D. So that's just part of the job. I mean, when you wake up, you don't know what you're going to get today. Some days, you know, might be one of those days where just a lot of traffic enforcement and, you know, doing radar, making sure people are, you know, driving responsibly. And then some days I don't have one opportunity to make a traffic stop because I am, you know, I'm going call to call all day. So, I mean, there's times where you'll get a call where it is extremely, you know, stressful. People are yelling. You got to make an arrest. You know, people are, you know, trying to run each other over or something, and something very, you know, traumatic for you know, for individuals. And we go there, we handle it. You know, we do the best job we can with the knowledge we have, and then after that, as soon as you clear up, there's another one waiting for you, and you got to respond to that, and you got to walk into that situation with a clear mind and treat that situation as a brand new situation, and, you know, don't take any baggage you have from the call before into the next call. And you know, it's a brand new call, and that person that needs our help is you know, they deserve a very fresh response. So I think it's important to really try to, you know, train yourself to respond to that call, you know, with as much compassion, empathy, you know, as you would first thing in the morning, nice, fresh, rested, you know, got your coffee. Whether it's 6 a.m. or the last call in your shift, you know, every single person deserves that response of, you know, compassion, caring, understanding, and, you know, hard work, knowing that what they need help with is going to get, you know, hopefully resolved, or, you know.
Well, and I ask everybody these questions. You never know what you're going to see, and empathy, you know, piggybacking on that. Is there a call that stands out to you in your 7-year career that you know without a doubt, like, you made an impact, or if it wasn't for you or your training or just right place, right time? Is there something that you can talk about that you know you made that difference?
Yeah, I mean, there's quite a bit that come to mind. I mean, I'm very big on, you know, let's say, for example, there was a case where an elderly lady, she was disabled. She was not doing too well, and she had an individual that she was living with, and that individual had a friend come over, and that friend stole her bridge card, and they decided that they wanted to sell that bridge card to somebody else, and then that person sold that bridge card to somebody else. And before we knew it, you know, she had no money left on her bridge card. She was going hungry, and she was really upset. She's like, you know, I had my bridge card on the table, it's gone, and now there's, you know, $1,000 worth of transactions. So, you know, to me, that's the type of call where I'm like, man, like, I will get to the bottom of this, and I will find out who took your card, and I'll do everything I can to figure it out. So I took everything I knew about investigating bridge card. I mean, fraud. And I reached out to individuals that worked with the government for bridge card fraud as well. And I spent countless hours going over that investigation, and eventually with collaborating with I can't think of his name off the top of my head right now, but he was a prior police officer that I knew. We collaborated together. He gave me the information he knew from what they could share with us. I gave him the information I knew with what we could share with them, and we ended up getting surveillance video of at the store of who actually physically had the card and was swiping it.
Okay, excellent. Yeah.
So after that, I went and I got the receipt of the person what card they used. I had a name. I found an address. I went and interviewed them, and they were like, "Hey, we did make a mistake by using this card, but this card was also, somebody sold it to us for like $100, and they said it was a friend that didn't need it." So I ended up finding out who that was, interviewed them, and she's like, "Hey, somebody sold that card to me for, $200, and my niece really needed it." So, and then I figured out who sold the card to her. And then eventually, when I got to the bottom of it, it was a very, very well-known criminal in our area that stole the card and basically had his girlfriend sell it to a friend, and then that friend sold it to her niece and nephew. So at the end of it, I ended up figuring out, all of the people that did that, and I got justice for the disabled lady. And she was very, very grateful, very obviously very upset that, that happened. But I mean, at the end of the day, I had warrant requests for 4 or 5 individuals, and it all came down to the mastermind of it. He tried creating a lot of distance from himself, but as I was very, and I would, if I wasn't responding to calls, instead of doing traffic enforcement for that day or for that couple of days, I was doing a very, working that, trying, because I felt for her. To kind of put that in perspective, that was very important to me. Like, and technically I could have got the bare minimum and just kind of send it up to the detective bureau and let them do it. But for me, I'm like, like this, like what I said earlier, this is personal for me. It's like, like if I can figure this out, I'm going to figure it out, because, and then if I absolutely can't figure it out and I've completely reached a dead end, and then, then I'll be like, okay, well, maybe I'll send it up to a detective, and with their skills, their training, their knowledge, they'll
get some fresh
resources, fresh eyes. Then, I'm confident that it probably, it would have got solved regardless. But for me, like, just that personal, that's why I wake up in the morning, and makes me feel good about what I'm out here doing. I'm gonna start heading to get some coffee too. If you want.
That's fine. Oh yeah, we can go. Yeah. So again, sticking with kind of the calls that stand out to you, one of the things that we have these moments in the career where we go, they didn't teach that in the police academy, or what on earth did I just see? Sometimes they're humorous, sometimes you're just kind of dumbfounded.
Yeah.
Is there something in particular where that kind of caught you off guard, where you're like, wow, I didn't expect to see that today?
Yeah, and there's a lot of calls that kind of stick out to me. To kind of keep it PG or whatever, I get one that kind of it was an assist medical, so the patient got transported to the hospital. We were there to kind of get her checked in and make sure that that she was going to be evaluated and stuff, and as she's acting pretty strange and stuff, and the doctor is speaking to us about what's going on. She's 8 months pregnant at the time. And as we're all standing out in the hallway, we hear something in the room. We turn over, look, and she's doing a full-on handstand on top of the hospital bed, 8 months pregnant, and like a straight gymnast. And I think it kind of took everybody off guard. So
not even like a quick, like, just jump on her hands, like she held it?
No, she held it. Like, she was straight up like a pencil, and she was holding that position. And
8 months pregnant.
8 months pregnant, and
suffering from some type of medical.
She had some type of medical emergency, but to see the look on everybody's face, like I mean, that was honestly that type of strength to hold herself up like that, and 8 months pregnant, was definitely something kind of etched in my mind. So that's one of those things, like you said, they don't teach you in the police academy to how you respond to that type of thing. Obviously, we're like, hey, you need to get down. We don't want you to fall over or hurt yourself. And she got down, and she just kind of like carried on with her day, and
just like she does that all the time.
Yeah, it's like to see that I can't do a handstand, like, man, that.
Yeah, there's no way. Not like that. Anyway.
And I'm not, to be 8 months pregnant and to do that was definitely, I don't want to say impressive, but that was
gold medal performance.
Gold medal performance.
Yeah.
She might want to try out for the Olympics.
Jeez. And that's on a lighter note. Coffee is we touched on coffee earlier, so we're currently waiting for a cup of coffee. I've never been to this.
Big B?
I've never.
Really?
I've had Big B, but I've never been to this one yet.
Oh yeah, they love us here too. I mean, they know me by my first name and stuff, so it's, I got a good relationship with them.
But yeah, I've never been to this one.
No, I like it. Yeah, I like their coffee.
The plain black.
Thank you.
Let me scoot some of this out the way here.
Their dark roast is phenomenal. All right, thank you.
You're welcome. I did write your name on the cup.
Did you?
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yep.
Let's see. I didn't tell them my name.
Did they get it? Oh, there it is.
Anthony. See,
Yep.
I didn't even. So it's good because I mean we go into businesses and just talk to people and let them know that we care. If they need anything, let us know. We know their first names. They know our first names.
So while we're out here cruising around right now, we're stuck at the Military Street Bridge is going up. So kind of perfect opportunity to talk about when you have the downtime outside of work. Hobbies. What does that kind of look like for you?
So recently, I've been I bought a house, and the yard needed a lot of work. So I have spent countless hours working on the yard. It's just being something about getting my hands dirty and kind of really planting plants, putting rock down. I did brick pavers. I've dumped like 300 yards of dirt. I've rented out machines, took down trees,
So yard work is now
yard
become a
work.
hobby.
Yeah, I'm officially an old man. I'm one of the guys that I stand there and just I'm in awe about my yard.
I'll say the grass is green.
Yeah, it's like now I care
Perfect
about
lines.
the grass. Yeah, like I got to go out there and pick every little weed and. But I've put a lot of time into my yard. So in wintertime, that's kind of tough. So wintertime, I'm more, like the whole college thing. I mean, I don't want to say that's a hobby, but I mean, that takes up a lot of my time is doing my college work. So that's like my priority is to get that done and, maintain a good GPA. And then big music guy.
You got a band too, don't you?
Yeah.
You play in a band?
Yeah, I've anybody that knows of me, especially in this area, before, I was a Marine or a police officer, they think of me as a music guy with my long Justin Bieber hair. I started playing music when I was probably about 11 years old. I picked up a guitar that my dad gave me for my birthday, and from there, I just started learning like AC/DC songs and Ozzy songs, and then eventually I met a really good friend that I've been friends with for the last 20 years, and he played drums, and so we started like playing the guitar and playing Green Day, Brain Stew, and then it turned into I met another friend, and we're still all best friends to this day. We've been best friends for 20 years, and he started playing guitar with us, singing, and then we started a band, and we started recording and getting a little bit of friction, and people we're playing shows all over, and this was more probably around my teenage, early adult, like 20 years old, doing battle to bands and playing with other bands in the area, and kind of cool little thing is that I kind of really like to bring up is one of the guys that we used to play with when we were all teenagers. He ended up joining another band, I Prevail, and he ended up getting really famous. And the guy that recorded us also, you know, was the producer of I Prevail for their first couple albums. And so a lot of, I mean, you know, those guys are doing really well. And so I'm really proud to be able to say that you know, I played shows with his previous band, and you know, I got to see him before you know, before he was going to the Grammys and stuff like that. So I'm really proud of that. But recently, I picked up the guitar again and started playing and doing music videos. And I actually got a music video that I haven't released yet with me, my best friend, the drummer, and then my brother also played with us as well. So,
well, what's the name? Is it still a band name or?
Well, when we were younger, it was called The First Impression.
Okay. And what about now?
So now the singer of that old band moved to Florida, so I picked up the singing gig. So I was singing, and we named it Apart From Me. So it's pretty much the same band, but besides my other best friend that's in Florida right now, because obviously he can't be here. So you know, just recording songs, and it's really doing the career choice that I've chosen. And my prior prior Marine Corps service, I got a lot of instead of journaling and stuff. I mean, I like to write lyrics, and I like to write about what's going on and stuff. So to me, that's, you know, something. I don't plan on being, you know, Mr. Rockstar or, you know, being world famous or anything. It's just something where
it might just happen naturally.
Yeah, it's something where my kids look back and, you know, they'll look and be like, "Oh, my dad's pretty cool." You know, you know, he did. And they love one of the songs I wrote. They sing it, you know, which I love. We'll be playing we'll be driving, turn on YouTube, and you know, have the video playing in the background, and they sing the lyrics. They love it. So to me, that's something where I'm like, you know, hopefully they pick up guitar and want to play, and they got a really good instructor if they want to one day.
Nice. So how do people that are listening or watching, how do they find you on social media? How do they find the band or the music?
If you go to Apart From Me, APART, and then space from space me, and you type in Without You, that will pull up my music video of back in 2021. That's the one that my kids love to sing, because it has a pretty little catchy part in there. So, you know, it's the one that they love. You ask them, what's your favorite song, they go, Without You. So to me, that, I mean, I won the lottery, right? Like, yeah. To me, that's why I do it, you know. So
and that the music video you mentioned that you haven't dropped yet.
Yeah, I haven't
that'll
dropped.
YouTube at some point.
Yeah, that'll be under the same band name.
Okay.
And stuff. And I'll, you know, something I did. My buddy from high school, Nick Webster, shout out to him. He's a phenomenal recorder, and he does pictures and music videos, and he's pretty much does it all for us. And he helps with some of the guitar and stuff. And he recorded the video. We did it, you know, pretty much band shots. We went around town, and so just fun. I mean, it's fun. It's a hobby. Like, I mean, obviously it comes down. This is, you know, I really enjoy, you know, serving the community and stuff. But man, being able to release music, and that's something that, you know, helps. I think everybody needs some type of outlet, right? Like to kind of like decompress, get away from. Because this job can be extremely stressful, and just like any, you know, most jobs are, you know, you end up going home and just like, wow, pulling out that acoustic guitar and just writing a song about, you know, it's definitely good therapy.
Yeah, that's one thing I haven't. I wish I could. I don't think I have a musical bone in my body.
Yeah.
I just that's not there. But I can appreciate the love and why people do it, and I can see it. So
yeah, I'm glad I was gifted with that ability to be able to play and stuff like that. So that's, you know.
So you mentioned you threw a few band names and group names out there, but what's the playlist look like? You're out here for 12 hours a day. So what's it look like?
I like bands like Bad Omens. I've seen them live before. the Platoon. I know that one of my buddies I was in the Marine Corps with, his friend group was that band. Definitely, I won't say I'm proud to say this one. I mean, Machine Gun Kelly. I know that I've been on and off about Machine Gun Kelly, but sometimes he, like the songs, you know, there's songs that I really enjoy from him. I'll play that. You know, I mean, we can go. I like kind of like sometimes like the old '90s classics, stuff like that. Eminem. I mean, I love listening to him, especially when he releases new music.
You know, I don't know, and I'm going to interrupt you. I don't know if it's just me or not, but when you say the old '90s classics, that makes me feel really old.
Yeah, me too.
The '90s is the old.
Yeah, '90s is the real old. Now, I mean, I was born in the '90s, so I mean, I'm 31 now, so. I think it's just more because growing up, that's, you know, the type of music that my parents had planned during, you know, get-togethers and parties and stuff, and so it's kind of that nostalgia when they play, because that was what, you know, when I was a kid, that was like the modern, like what was coming out now, and you know, even some like Alana Morris or whatever her name is.
Alanis Morissette.
Like for some reason, when you know, her music comes on, it's like my mom used to listen to that all the time.
Alanis Morissette, not Atlantis.
Alanis, yeah. See, I don't know, but when her songs come on, it's like a nostalgia moment for me. Or what's her name? I can't think of her name, but yeah, just a lot of the stuff that my parents would listen to. I like to play, and but I like all types of music, so you pretty much, as long as I can kind of vibe with it. You know, I'm not the type of person that I'll completely close off an entire genre of music. You know, like if it sounds good, it sounds good, right? I can appreciate the ability to write it. So whether it's a rap song or screamo song, like Asking Alexandria, any of that stuff.
So one of the other things I always like to talk about or ask is, this is kind of a way for the community to kind of get to know you and us and kind of see, you know, who's out here, you know, helping them, serving them. What is there one thing, or is there maybe a few things, whatever, that you wish the community knew about officers at PHPD, or you want them to know?
I mean, like I mentioned before, like my family lives here. So when I think something that I see a lot, especially like on social media, are people just like really kind of attacking certain officers, or you know, or I guess very hateful things. And a lot of the times, I mean, I've worked here for about 7, you know, like what I said, 7 years, and I feel like from what I've witnessed, I've experienced, my personal, you know, my personal view is that I've personally not seen an officer that did not always try to do the right thing. I feel like you know, it can be a touchy subject for some individuals, but you know, the people I've worked with are professional, are dedicated. They want to do a good job. We all want to do the right thing, and you know, certain situations I wish sometimes I feel like it's hard for people to fully understand the situation, just because of you know, they don't do this job, you know. So I think doing this job, I definitely see things a lot differently than I did before doing this job. Like I understand the why, I guess, is like why you got to do certain things, why things have to be a certain way that I didn't understand before doing this job. So, you know, if you, and sometimes we can't really, you know, there's a lot of legalities, or, you know, things that we have to follow. So I think it's just more of like, I really wouldn't be working for, I'm the type of guy that if I did not think that, you know, this police department was doing the best they could to serve the community, I wouldn't work here. Like, I chose to move back from California. Like, I was a Tier 1 Marine. I was on a track to have a very successful career in the Marine Corps. And, you know, I chose to come here and work for this department. And I will say that there's no other department that I would rather work for than Port Huron. I mean, I could go anywhere pretty much in the country and, you know, go be a police officer, and I chose to be here. So I just want the community to, you know, to have that, because I mean, I'm one of you. I'm one of the, you know, I went to Woodrow Wilson Elementary School. I went to Central Middle School. I went to Port Huron High School. I went to St. Clair County Community College. You know, so just know that I'm not the only one that
Right, yeah.
that's had that same. I mean, we got a lot of officers that were from the area that all feel the same way I do.
So kind of to wrap this whole thing up, Anthony, again, I really appreciate this. I know you. We've done, like you said, we've done recruiting visits where we've drove to academies and we just sit and you know, chat the whole way. So I know your story, but thank you for kind of letting the community into your life and your job a little bit. And I always like to ask and kind of close with a quote. Is there a quote that you've kind of hung on to, whether it's your career or your life, that just resonates with you? And you don't got to explain why, but just give us the quote that's always been your quote.
The thing that I live by, and I always tell myself this, especially when I'm uncomfortable, is I remember I was going through the Crucible, and that's like the main event for the Marine Corps boot camp. It's like once you finish the Crucible, you get your Eagle, Globe, and Anchor, and you are a Marine. And I remember the kid next to me was falling out. He was very, very tired. And I remember my drill instructor, Sergeant Merced, came up to him and he said, "You have to be comfortable being uncomfortable." And for some reason, that just like that quote right there has been very, very influential on me. You know, and I remember I'm like, man, I'm so tired. I feel like I can't stand up. I'm just exhausted, and I'm soaking wet. You know, my boots are soaking wet. My feet are swollen. And I remember just going, okay, I'm uncomfortable. Now, I'm alive. I'm moving. You know, like, I can still do this. Mm-hmm. I'm just uncomfortable. I'm like, so if I just accept the fact that, hey, this sucks, but at least I'm able to keep pushing forward.
Yeah.
Then just keep pushing forward. So I mean, I've used it like if I'm tired or if I'm going for a run and I'm like, man, I'm so tired. I want to give up. And I just go, well, just be comfortable right now, feeling uncomfortable, and just keep pushing. Just keep going.
Well, thanks again, Anthony, for doing this. Really do appreciate it. Kind of give us again a glimpse into you and your story and your life. So if you don't mind, take me back to the office and I'll let you get back out there.
Sounds good. I'm glad I was given the opportunity to be able to do this. And I mean, if anybody watching sees me out on the street, just don't be afraid to approach me and strike up a conversation or bring up anything about me. I mean, you know, I always enjoy conversation. I always enjoy getting to know new faces, and so hopefully I see you guys out there on the road. And like what I said, don't be afraid to come talk to me.
I'm giving up to what I want. I'll be alright. I can't live without you. I'll make it through. These things I do are for you. I can't live without you. I can't live without you.
Well, that was pretty sweet. Great job to you and Officer Garska. Did you have fun out there?
It was good. It was good. Like I said, it's nice to get out of the office, and we don't have that luxury all the time. So, like I said, it's just nice to jump in there and just have a conversation. Plus, I got to go see the new Big B on the north end. So,
get some coffee.
Yeah, it was good. It was a good time.
Good. Well, that was fun. Thanks again for doing that.
Absolutely. Well, boat week is upon us. I know you and I have been planning for several months, but this is kind of, it all comes together here. So what can the city of Port Huron expect from the police department for boat week?
Right. It's a big event, probably the biggest event that we're a part of here at the police department within the city of Port Huron. And like you mentioned, there's a lot of planning that goes into this, like months ahead of time, and all to make sure that it's a safe and fun event for everyone that attends and helps us with it. You helped me a lot with all the background stuff and making sure everything is where it needs to be. And we get a lot of assistance from our partners like the Michigan State Police, St. Clair PD, Marysville PD, the St. Clair County Sheriff's Office, Customs, Emergency Management, our fire department, and all the city heads here at the city of Port Huron. As you can imagine, there's a lot that goes into it. So depending on when you're watching or listening to this, it may have already occurred or is going on right now.
Yep.
But what our friends out there can expect is a lot of road closures. That's the most obvious thing. We close down part of downtown Port Huron so that people can walk around on foot safely. And with that is some traffic diversions. So basically just expect that downtown's going to be closed from Wednesday at 3 p.m. all the way until Saturday at 5 p.m. because there's 4 main days for Blue Water Fest. So Wednesday is the parade, and that's a good time. We all take part in that. On Thursday is what we call family night. So that's an opportunity to go to like Operation Transformation, the Kids Zone downtown, spend some time with the family, get some food, have fun, and then go to the drone show. It's around 10 o'clock on Thursday night, which is a pretty cool thing to see. I've watched a few of them. They're spectacular. So I'm expecting them to put on a great show again this year.
And that's behind the Y, right?
That's correct.
It was the Atchison property, right?
Yeah, so like the Atchison Desmond and then the Friends of the St. Clair River property over by the YMCA. It is a limited area. It's a great space for the drone show. But with that, comes a lot of traffic delays. So those that are attending expect some delays and have a plan. It's going to take a little while to get people in there safely and out safely. But you can view the drone show from a lot of different points in the city. So eyes in the sky and see some cool stuff. And then, of course, Friday is what we call boat night. It's like the pre-race night. That's the night that precedes the 102nd Port Huron to Mackinac Bayview sailboat race. And that's the big night where people stay out late and enjoy some beverages safely and responsibly, and some food and some live music. You're going to see a lot of police officers downtown, and we're going to be there just walking around on foot or on bicycles. And we do have some enhanced operating while intoxicated driving enforcement cars out there as well to make sure our streets are safe. So when you see us out there, feel free to say hi. If you have any questions or comments or concerns, walk up to us and let us know. But we're going to be out there probably in some larger groups. We're not just, kicking back and taking it easy. We're out there to monitor the situation and make sure everyone's safe and enjoying it. So that's something we always look forward to. It's a long night, a lot of hours. This whole week really is.
You and I basically live here. So
yes, more than once I've slept at a desk here in the department
during
preparing.
boat week.
Yep.
Yeah, it's long days.
It is. I look forward to, though. I think most of us
good time.
Yeah, we all do. So
well, and then Friday too, you're gonna switch out your uniform for a tactical apron.
Yeah, and you're actually not being sarcastic. That's true. I literally have a tactical.
Yes, I'm not
apron.
Surprised. Yeah,
yeah. Well, you got to have the right equipment for the job. Yeah. So yeah, I actually get the cool job this year on Friday of preparing food for all of our partners in law enforcement, first responders, our DPW workers, our cadets. We always provide food to those helping us because it is a long day and we need some refreshments. So we have some snacks and stuff, but I get to actually man the grill and make up some burgers and some pulled pork so that everyone has a nice hot meal to look forward to while they're out there walking around and keeping the city safe. So we're looking forward to that. Yep. So we'll see how I do. This is a big test.
I'm confident. I'm
glad.
Conversations we've had, I'm very confident.
That's good. I'm glad one of us is. And then Saturday, we used to have Main Street Memories the city puts on for like a classic car show. The cool thing this year is actually combined it with Blue Water Fest. So on Saturday, it's called Keels and Wheels. It's a car show downtown. So come out and check it out. Some beautiful cars out there. Hopefully some nice weather. and walk around downtown. There'll still be some vendors out there, and the streets are still going to be closed. And that goes until about 4 o'clock on Saturday afternoon, and then the streets will reopen then, and it's back to business as usual.
So much going on in just a few short days.
That is an understatement.
There's something going on for everybody.
There is.
And I do want to just jump back real quick for the parade. Closures downtown going to start about 3 p.m. on Wednesday, correct?
That's correct, and something to note. And thank you for reminding
if somebody's still parked down there, what's that going to look like?
Yes. So there will be signs up downtown along Huron, basically from Pine Grove and Erie south to Griswold, down to Court, that there's no parking allowed on the public streets there. They have to clear the vehicles off the streets and make sure the spectators can view the parade. So after 3 o'clock, when the streets are closed down, I know yourself and some others from the department are going to go downtown and check the streets and make sure there's no cars parked on the roadway. So I'll ask all of you, if you're watching this or viewing this before Wednesday, to make sure you're not parked downtown on the parade route. If you are parked there, make sure your car is moved before 3 o'clock. If it's not, we'll get a hold of you over the phone and ask you to move your car. If we can't get a hold of you, then your vehicle will be gently towed to around the corner. So again, just please make sure your car is moved before 3 o'clock if you're downtown, and that your cell phone's on so we can get a hold of you, because we don't want to have to move any cars if we don't have to. And also, if you go outside and your car is not there, it doesn't mean it's stolen. Just look around the corner.
Yeah, we put it right in one of the free parking lots just around the corner. So,
Yeah.
All right, excellent information. Thank you.
Yeah, for sure. We're looking forward to it. It's going to be a good time. But you have some cool stuff that you're working on too. For the future.
Yeah. With summer National Night Out, nationwide initiative that we've always participated in. I want to say this is the 42nd year, 42nd or 43rd that National Night's been occurring. I know as long as I've been here, as long as you've been here, we've always participated in this.
Yeah, decades. I think.
Yeah,
that we've
I'm
been
pretty
a part
sure
of
this
National
is
Night Out.
almost from year one. I think we've been part of this. So no different this year. What National Night is just an opportunity to get outside and get to know your neighbors and get to know us. So it can be a block party. It could be like a field day event for the kids. It can be whatever you want it to be. The neat part is if you do host one in the city of Port Huron, you fill out a special events permit, reach out to me, and we'll get you on the list. And then myself, you, the chief, we come visit you. We hang out with you, not only us, but the fire department, EMS, our partners in the city. And it's just kind of a way for us to get to know you, you to get to know us. And then even when we leave, the cool part is you still get to hang out with your neighbors still.
Right.
So
yeah, it's been a tradition for years, and the message is to go outside, lock your doors, and get to know your neighborhood. And I've been a part of it for many years, as have you, and I've seen all different things. I've seen concerts, block parties, just little neighborhood cookouts. The food's always great. We look forward to it. We like eating.
Yep.
So
I've even been.
I've even been in a dunk tank once.
Yep.
No thanks this year. I learned that I'm not great in the dunk tank, but it is a great time. A lot of different churches, organizations, neighborhoods, individuals, different community groups put on this neighborhood night out initiative and get outside, and it's a lot of fun. We split up in teams, and we make sure to go visit each one of the neighborhood night out events and get to know everyone. And the cool thing on top of that is, like, later on, it could be months later, you see someone that you met at a neighborhood block party. You're like, oh, hey, what's up, buddy? How you doing? And, they remember you and you remember them, and you have good conversation. So it's that perfect opportunity to get to know your neighborhood, get to know the men and women of the police department, the fire department, EMS, our volunteers. And it's, I can't speak highly enough about the event.
Yep. And once the big reason too for those special events permits is if we know it's happening, I can help advertise it. So I'll put out on our social medias all the events happening throughout the city. So maybe you don't want to host one, but you don't know where one is happening. I try to share that information. So maybe there's one around the corner from you that you can go and visit there and get to know them too. So really a cool way to see the city, see the neighbors, and get to hang out with us, of course.
Yeah, not that bad. So if you want any more information, get a hold of you. Check our Facebook. All that stuff is on there with the instructions and how to get everything put together. You can even close down the street if you want to.
Yeah.
So reach out. We're looking forward to it.
Yep. Yeah. Reach out to me, BAKERS at porthuron.org. And again, it's Tuesday, August 4th. So I look forward to seeing you out there. All right. Well, one that's been requested. We get questions and concerns about different things that people observe in the city, and they ask us all the time, is it legal. So, brand new segment, and the one I've been seeing recently, and I'm sure everybody out there's been seeing it, e-bikes, e-motos, mini bikes, pocket bikes. Can you touch on some of this stuff and what is legal?
Sure. It's a question we get a lot, and I encourage people, if you have questions, again, to email us or to reach out to us on Facebook. Happy to answer what we can. So just to start off, there are, in the state of Michigan, 2 classifications of vehicles. There's motorized vehicles and non-motorized vehicles. Motorized vehicles, pretty obvious. It's what you think of when you think of a car or truck. Anything that's propelled by an internal combustion engine is going to be a motorized vehicle. And then there's those outliers like electric cars. Now, those are considered motor vehicles as well because they have 4 wheels and they could be registered and titled and driven on roadways. Then there's non-motorized vehicles. The easiest way to think about those is bicycles. Now, e-bikes are not like a new phenomenon, but we're seeing them more and more and more as the price of the technology has gone down. It's more accessible to everybody, especially to juveniles. And it's something that I've experienced. I know you probably have as well. When you see e-bikes just jutting out into traffic and flying around, it seems like excessive speeds. Now, again, e-bikes are classified as a non-motor vehicle. So they are regulated in the eyes of the state of Michigan the same way as a bicycle is. So that means any law, traffic ordinance, anything like that, that a bicycle has to follow, an e-bike does as well. So again, it's not a motorized vehicle, but you do have to respect the rules of the road like a bicycle. For example, a lot of people may not know this, but when you ride a bicycle on the streets, you have to stop at stop signs. You have to stop at red lights. You have to yield at yield signs. You have to signal your turns. If you're operating it on a sidewalk, you have to yield to pedestrians. So e-bike's the same. I also hear the term e-moto. This is something new to me. There's information out there that there's electric motorcycles. I'm not 100% sure if that's really a classification yet, because e-bikes are classified into 3 different categories, and they just vary on the power and the abilities that they have. So up to a class 3 e-bike is considered a bicycle. E-motos are something that you see that exceeds that classification. And the top classification, a class 3, has a power limit of 750 watts, which equates to about 1 horsepower. And they usually they're going to have pedals, so they can be pedaled like a bicycle. E-moto are what people are classifying as those electric vehicles that have 2 wheels that do not have pedals and that exceed that power rating. In the state of Michigan, they haven't classified those as like a motorcycle. It's going to be up to our Michigan State Legislature to get that all figured out and what the classification is. As of right now, it's not classified as an e-bike. That's what we know, if it exceeds that power limit. Now you see electric scooters also. Those are also non-motorized vehicles, so they're regulated like a bicycle is. And then when you get into things like pocket bikes or mini bikes, I think of those as like the Coleman mini bikes you see at Tractor Supply for sale. Yep. Those are powered by an internal combustion engine. So those are motorized vehicles. They cannot be operated on Michigan roads, on sidewalks, without going through the same registration process as a moped. So if you want to operate that mini bike with an internal combustion engine, it has to have a registration, turn signals, horn, headlight, all those kinds of things. There's a lot of ordinances and laws that go along with it. So 99% of the time when you see one of those out on the street, they are not legal. They can be operated on private property only. So my advice to all of you who may have kids with e-bikes, or maybe you have an e-bike or a scooter. I have an electric scooter myself. They're pretty fun. They're a nice way to get around legally. Is to be responsible, respect the rules of the road as a bicyclist would. Parents, make sure that your child, if they have one of these devices, knows the rules of the road and the responsibilities that go along with it. Wear a helmet. I always preach that because it doesn't take much to get injured, even from a 3-foot fall. So education, responsibility, following the rules of the road, everyone's happy.
Appreciate it. It's all good information. So is it legal? Some of it.
Some of it.
But most of it, not so much.
Not so much.
And we see it all the time. So
we do.
Appreciate you taking the time to answer that.
No problem.
Well, another good episode in the books. I know this one's a little bit longer, but, Garska and I get talking, and as history has shown, I tend to talk.
I find value in it, and I enjoyed it, so I hope everyone out there does as well. But nope, a lot of fun. Hopefully we get some good information out there. We get some good feedback, and we're looking forward to doing it again. Yeah,
I appreciate you sitting down with me. I know it's a busy week right now.
Just slightly.
Just a little bit. So appreciate the time and appreciate everybody out there for watching, listening, however you're taking this in. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and we'll see you next time.
See you next time.